Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the final round of the ESR and RWB Super GT Saturday series. We're here at Barcelona, as you can see, in the pouring rain. I think it's getting heavier as well, so it should be fun. I'm joined by Josh, as usual.
Alright.
And yeah, we're both really excited. We've seen you guys hyping it up in the chat. You've hyped us up too. So yeah, final round, and me and Josh have just been having a look at the championship, and it's quite juicy, isn't it, Josh?
Oh, it's so extremely close. We did a couple of quick calcs back there. Definitely did not get my calculator out at all. And it's so close, especially in the GT4s. For the top four there, it's anyone's game for those lads. And yeah, I can't wait to. Yeah, I'm just so excited to see you actually top it off in Tier 2.
Yeah, I can't wait for the frantic calculations that we're gonna have to do mid-race to work out who's gonna win. I'm not sure my maths is on point at the moment. I've used my brain too much today doing uni work, but you know, we'll see what we can do. So I think Josh said we've got 4 people in the running. We've got James Butler is currently in first place in the championship with 511 points. John Barker with 498. Menacing Skull with 494. And Martin Edmonds with 487. Considering it's 75 points for the win, that puts all 4 of them in the running of the Tier 2 championship, where they're going to win a lovely pair of sim socks.
Definitely, do you think I can nick a pair of sim socks off the race off the championship?
I reckon we count as championship winners, Josh.
You know, we're all winners deep down.
Yeah.
You know, I think we deserve it for our absolute, championship style commentating right here.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Best commentating out there.
Best commentating.
And then in the GT3s, to make it even more exciting, GT3s, 475 points is Andrew Anderson, currently sitting in first place. Damien Wilk with 417 points, and Thomas Cruikshanks with 406 points. So the top 3 of the GT3s are all within a chance of getting the win tonight. So it's going to be just such a good race, and it's in the rain. What could make it better?
The great equalizer, of course.
Yeah. So let's give you a little rundown of how qualifying's going. We've got currently... Oh, let's see if we can get the timings up.
Well, while Alex is doing that, I can give you a little chat about what's happening so far. For the GT3s, currently in qualifying in P1 is Godzilla in the number 4 Nissan. He's leading by half a second over P2 man Badalski in the Ferrari. And then everyone below Badalski, Eugenie, Cricky, Simeon Dinis, they're all pretty much within 2/10 of each other. So far, Godzilla seems to be stomping away in P1 at the moment. Everyone else is going to have a bit of a massive push to try and keep up. But then in the GT4s, James Butler, as usual, is currently 0.8 seconds ahead of P2 of Edmonds. And then, that's pretty much it. Nothing overly exciting. Everyone below Edmonds is within 4/10. It's kind of business as usual for James Butler. Oh no, sorry, that's Jay Barker at the moment currently. Jay Barker is currently P1 in the GT4s with a if I can get my bearings correctly for all this.
Come on, Josh, step up the game.
It's been such a long day. So yeah, Jay Barker is currently in P1 for 2 minutes 3.6, which, having seen other GT4s lap in the dry, it's not too bad actually. GT4s, it's not a bad shift at all. But yeah, he's currently 1.1 seconds ahead of Edmonds in P2, with Menacing Skull following up in P3, RWB Flak in P4. Jay Butler in P5, he's the one who kind of needs to get his finger out of his arse and go for P1 here in order to lock out his championship win. And RWB Charger in P6, Pater in P7, and then finally in P8 is Kelleher. So those are currently the GT4 guys at the moment. I'll wait until everyone's kind of locked in for the GT3s, because that's a much longer list.
Yeah, we've still got 15 minutes in quali. Yeah. So, Bolton Lad Scouser in the chat, back again. What if all 4 don't finish in the GT4s? I think, sadly, P5 is out of the running for the win.
He is.
We've got
He's
who is
too
it?
far below.
We've got RW Flack in P5, and I think he is out of. Yeah, he's more than 75 points away from the lead. So if all 4 don't finish, the top 3 will just stay exactly the same. Which is, in fact, the top 4 will stay exactly the same. But I think it's exciting enough. So Josh, do you want to give us a little lap of the track, your signature lap of the track description?
Or of course, if we stay on board with Anderson, who's currently going around Elf, which is the first corner after the pit straight, he goes for a left, and then goes onto the Parabolica, which is called Renault. And this is quite tricky, as you have to try and... You can lose so much time here if you don't get your foot down at the right time. Never mind, we're now on board with Van Dory and Malin, as he goes around Elf with turn 1, goes for the left-hander, then comes up to Renault, as I said earlier, which is the Parabolica. Keeps his foot flat at the right opportunity so that he can kind of get a nice drive all the way out. Heading now down towards the bridge, up to Repsol, which is another fast corner with quite a tricky braking zone, as it's quite banked. Going around, gets his foot flat at the apex as he comes up now towards Sayat. We were kind of talking about if this is going to be Seat, but we decided it'd be Sayat, which is a tight left-hander in second gear, as he heads now down the hill, full on as he tries to get past Kelleher in the GT4, up towards Wörth, which is a nice German word that we also had the debate about, which is a quick left followed by a tight right with a nice curb on the inside to bump anyone who's not paying attention out. As he comes up now to Campster, which is a tricky right-hander. It's a bit off camber, so it can slide you out off to the left, as we see Van Doren Malin doing a little bit there as he comes up now long straight up to the heavy braking zone of Lakaita, which is a left-hander, very tight. And again, making sure not to run over the speed bump on the far right, as he comes now to the left-right, which takes him onto Bank Sambadel, which is a long 180 right-hander, up to Europe car, as we changed to Abranosa. But yeah, that would be him going up to Europe car, then onto the chicane RACC for the final right-hander of New Holland, which would take him onto the pit straight. So yeah, sorry the camera moves everywhere, but
that may have been my mistake there. Sorry.
Might have been autocam.
I may have accidentally left on autocam.
But yeah, I'm sure everyone's seen it. This track is hosted so much. They do F1, historic races, Spanish touring cars, GT2, GT3s, GT Opens. They do F2, F3, and even MotoGP is raced around here. So yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone on the planet who's interested in motorsport has seen Barcelona at some point. I mean, I've watched it, but I didn't know the track names because everyone just calls it T1, T2. I'm not surprised by the track names; they're not very imaginative, are they?
No. First one's car names. Second few just like debatable pronunciation corners, pretty much. Ugh.
Yeah, so, I think compared to the UK naming is perfect. I mean, you've got Simply Sausages, which is like one of the best track names out there. And then, of course, you've got Scotsman as well. It's just, yeah, a lot of classic names in the UK. But yeah, I don't think the Spanish have quite got the hang of corner names, in my opinion, compared to us.
No, I don't think they have either. I'm just looking at the GT4 qualifying, and James Butler is sitting down in P5 in GT4s, and I have a feeling that I saw a message in the Discord chat that he he was going to purposefully qualify badly so that he could race from the back. I'm not sure if I
wonder if he knows how close the championship is though.
I think he does, but I think he wants some fun.
Let's hope he can hold on to it.
I'm just going to confirm that. But I have a feeling it was him. I definitely saw someone talking about going to qualify low so that I can try and fight my way to the front and not just like run off with the race again. And
well, if Barker wants to get P1, he needs to finish 6 places ahead of Butler today, which basically means Barker needs to be at the back of the grid, and Butler needs to be at the back of the grid, and Barker needs to be all the way in P1.
Josh, that was
for him to get it.
That was some quick maths there.
The very quick maths. Unfortunately for Edmonds, it's not possible with the amount of cars on track, but it's still possible for Menacing Skull and Barker to get into P1 for the championship.
Even Martin Edmonds.
Martin Edmonds. Here's where the quick maths came in. With the amount of cars on track,
go on.
Martin Edmonds wouldn't be able to get the position advantage.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bolton Scouser.
Yeah, we're sorry, Bolton.
It's not even a 4-way race, it's a 3-way race.
It's now a 3-way race.
What a shame. What a shame. Oh.
That's our quick maths before this getting in the way.
Yeah, that was mine and Josh's insane math skills. Mainly just Josh's, because mine are even worse. I couldn't even work out that Martin Edmonds couldn't win. Oh no.
With the amount of maths I've done today for all those university assignments, I'm dead. I'll need to get an Excel sheet at this rate.
Got Simon Beavis in the chat, supporting Skull. Skull's still in it. Skull's still in it.
Hang on, let me do some maths.
Go on, get the calculator. I reckon if Skull wins and Barker and Butler have a debatable race, then you never know. Oh, FX. James Butler, quote, "Barca is my least optimistic track in the series. Might as well make it a super challenge." So I was correct with James Butler talking about qualifying purposefully low. He just wants to make it harder for himself. He wants to make it more exciting for us. I'm not complaining.
Yeah. I got my calculator out. And Menacing Skull, the best he can do, best scenario, so he gets the extra point for qualifying. He then finishes first, and Butler Butler retires. He'd then be drawn with Butler in P1 in the championship. That's his best case scenario.
What happens then?
I have no idea. Like, this is just blowing my mind. The maths are coming out. This is why you should do maths, kids, because it just gets super interesting.
What happens with surely FX or Charger knows what happens if there's a championship draw.
Yeah, it's so tight. I wish I'd looked at this a bit sooner, so I could be a bit more prepared. But it's super close in the GT4s. Like, it's actually properly interesting.
Is it going to be down to like number of wins or something?
I think so. I
think it would go to Butler though, wouldn't it? In that case.
I think it might. Yeah, I think Butler might edge it out based on number of wins.
I don't know. We need confirmation on that.
Yeah, we do need confirmation on that. But Barker could still win though. But yeah, Menacing Skull, best he can do is draw P1 in the championship.
So is that Speed knows better? Okay. well, we'll see if we find out at some point or not. So does that mean that Crookshanks in GT3s is also out of the running by the same logic, or is there enough GT3s?
So Damien and Crookshanks are unfortunately out of the running for P1. No. So that's Andrew Anderson locked in from my quick maths that I've just done. But P2 is still debatable.
Is closely fought. They're only 11 points away.
Oh, 11 points, yeah.
Bloody hell, Josh.
Jeez.
11 points away from each other. Okay, Speed says it would go on win, so I think that means James Butler would
Butler
take the win. So, does that mean that both GT3 and GT4 is locked out for the win?
Not at the moment, because Barker could still win GT4.
Oh, okay.
Barker could
still win it.
GT3 is currently locked in with my quick maths there. But P2, Damien and Cruikshanks, and they've had that rivalry all the way through. Like, as long as I've been following RWB, which is about 2 months, those two have been. They've got the most heated rivalry I've seen in this series. They're always ribbing each other on. So yeah, I'm excited to see who gets P2 out of those two, because whoever's going to win is going to have bragging rights for ages. And
100%.
Well, I'm sure the people watching who are on the RWB Discord can see those two love to just rib each other on about who got more positions.
Even just qualifying 10 minutes ago, while they were in practice, I saw Damien post a screenshot saying the comment was like "surprise, surprise," and it was just a screenshot of Cruikshanks like a tenth behind his lap time.
Yeah, it was literally P2 Damien Wilt, P3 R Cricky. No timing whatsoever. It was just a bad Damien saying, "Am I surprised?" No.
Oh, it's great.
But yeah, question about how many GT4s. There are currently 8 GT4s on track at the moment, and with 13 GT3s on track. So I don't know if Speedmon's going to do some quick maths of his own to figure out if I'm absolutely talking shite or not. But yeah, it's close with the GT4 guys, and then for P2 and GT3, that's going to be even more heated. I'm not a fan of F1 because of the politics, but I do like F1 because of the drama, and we've got plenty of drama here with Damien and Cruikshanks for P2, and the GT4 guys. I mean, imagine if Menacing ends up drawing with Butler in P1. It's just mental.
I would be probably the tightest finish. I don't know. Okay.
And I remember as well, we've got heavy rain coming up. Like, heavy rain it's not quite thunderstorm.
Yeah, top right corner. If you look at the weather forecast for the next... In 10 minutes, it's extra rain. 30 minutes, extra rain. So it could get exciting. And considering... What is it? Qualifying... the race is... In game, the race is an hour after qualifying. No, half an hour after the end of qualifying. So the rain is gonna play a big part in this race, I think.
Definitely, it is the great equalizer. But yeah, it's getting good. Saying that though, Godzilla is now in P3 in the Nissan for the GT3s. Simeonidis in the Porsche, and Gixler in the Porsche as well. They managed to jump him into P1, P2, but look at that gap between the two of them. It's 9 thousandths of a second between P1 and P2 for the GT3s. It's so close.
Where's Cruikshanks in all this? He's in the Lexus. It should be OP in the wet.
I know. I don't know what's going on with Crookie. He's currently down in P7, with Damien 2 positions ahead of him in P5. They both Crookie needs to go out and get a P3 so he can get that extra point for quali, just to reduce how many more places he needs to get. Because then he just needs to finish 6 places ahead in order to beat him and get P2.
It is the classic Cruikshank strategy though to do awful in qualifying and then make it all back in the race. Ugh. So yeah, Simeonidis. Excuse the pronunciation of that one. How would you say it, Josh? How would you say it?
Simeonidis. Yeah, I'd say the same.
Simeonidis. Where's he in the championship? I don't remember seeing him previously.
I've not seen him much.
The name doesn't ring a bell. I can't. I'm just having a quick look through the chat to the championship standings.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't actually see him, so I don't know whether he's new for this.
As another name.
I don't know whether he's new for this final race or whether he's changed his name or something. But he might shake things up a little bit if he's sitting on pole.
Definitely, Oh, it's just gonna be good.
It is gonna be
I'm
good.
actually looking forward to this.
9 seconds left in qualifying, so we'll just wait until everyone's finished their lap. There'll be a couple people who will have timed it correctly and have one more lap, and then we'll have Josh's run through of the standings pre-race. Charger says he's sandbagging again, which I'm not sure if I believe that. I mean, no, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I missed last week. Sorry about that, Josh. Sorry for leaving you on your own. You had cars.
I did have cars.
Yeah, Charger was sandbagging a couple of weeks ago, and that didn't turn out amazingly.
That was at Kyle Army, wasn't it, when we had James with us?
Let's not sugarcoat it. That didn't turn out the best. I think, what was it, turn 1 incident because he was so far back?
Yeah, let's not talk.
I'm not sure whether to believe him on that one, but you can believe him or not. And Bolton Scouser says, "Where is Mike Abranosa in the Porsche?"
We'll get to that in a second.
He's in the Ferrari. Oh no, that's not Mike.
No, he's in the
That's
Porsche.
N Abranosa. Oh, is that just mine? Is mine broken or something?
Oh no, Abranosa is in the...
He's in the Ferrari.
He is in the Ferrari.
I don't know about that one then.
Maybe you felt a change up or something. Oh well, that seems to be everyone locked out for position-wise. Just a quick rundown while we wait for the 3 minutes to start the race. We've got for the GT3s in P1, it's Simeonidis in the Porsche, followed by Jay Gixer, who's also in the Porsche 9000s, split those two up at the front, followed by Godzilla in P3 and the Nissan. Who knew that a stonky boy would be able to do well in the wet? In P4, we got Badalski, followed by Damien Wilk, followed by Eugenie and BMW in P6. And P7 is Cricky. He's going to want to try and make up lots of places in hopes of getting ahead of Wilk in the championship for the final race. Oh, wow, this is quite a pronunciation, but here we go. Warizchek in the Lamborghini in P8, followed by Abranosa in a Ferrari in P9, Baba Ganoush in P10, Anderson in P11, Van Doren Malin in P12, with Warren in P13. And bringing up the rear is Jay Butler in P14. So those are the GT3 lads. In the GT4s, in P1 we have Edmonds followed by Barker in P2. In P3 we've got Menacing Skull with RWB Flak following up in P4. Pater in P5, Butler in P6, RWB Charger in P7, followed by Kelleher in P8. And that rounds off the GT4 lads. So, yeah, that's it's gonna be. I don't know. I mean, what's Butler doing down in P14? I know he was gonna sandbag and try and stop in the back, but I'm curious as to why he's risking it.
He's got. I don't know.
He's got Barker.
It is. So yeah. Speed says, for Barker to win, he would have to win, get pole, and the fastest lap in the race. Has Barker got pole? No.
No.
So I think
see Barker actually.
No, Jay Barker's in P2 for GT4s.
Oh yeah, for GT4.
So I think, assuming Speed's maths is right, I think that might be pole. I think that might be P1 in the GT4s locked out as well.
Well, let me get my calculator out.
That's going to be after running calculation for the race. But we'll assume that Barker's still with a chance. What position is Butler in? P6, I think.
Barker could win it by 1 point.
Assuming Butler comes P8 or lower or something. Or is there's only 8 of them?
If Butler comes stone dead last and Barker comes first, he wins the championship by 1 point.
Oh, I'm not sure though. Butler's fast.
He is. Like, it is super close. Right. But yeah, as we're now underway, Whoa, here we go. Need to make sure I've got my right camera as well for me.
So they've got to come through the final chicane on the short formation lap. So we've got Simeonidis on pole, Jay Gixer in second, and Godzilla in third for the GT3s. Then in GT4s, we've got Edmonds on pole, Jay Barker in second, and Menacing Skull in third, as they roll up to the start-finish line for the start of the final race of this 8-week league. There we go, it's just gone green. On the run into turn 1 now. It's quite a long run after the start-finish line. It looks like Simeonidis got quite a good start over Gixer in the Porsches. Godzilla's up the inside of P2 into turn 1. The Porsches managed to outbrake him. Not sure if he's going to get it done. No, he's going to have the inside for the next corner. So Gixer's managed to get that done. Oh, someone's on the grass back there.
Yeah, that's contact between... That was contact between what looked like Skull and Edmonds in the GT4s into turn 1. They've both managed to come away relatively unscathed though. But yeah, that's the excitement in GT4 for now.
So Simeonidis has managed to pull away from the start. Gixer and Godzilla are having a tight battle now. They're still side by side 3 corners later. Gixer's just tried to brake later than Godzilla, but clearly just missed his brake point completely. And he's just given the place to Godzilla. So Godzilla's in second. I think he's lost a couple more positions. So now we've got Badowski in third and Damien in fifth. Badowski in fourth, sorry. And Damien in fifth. Then we've got Crookie in sixth. No, that's... Sorry. I'm getting this all mixed up now. Badowski's in third. Damien's in fourth. Crookie's in fifth. And Godzilla's down to sixth.
Is he?
Oh my god, what is going on?
Well, you get your head on straight. I'll give you some info
Jesus.
about the GT4 guys. The GT4 guys have been having contact left, right, and centre. The wet not being good at all. We had Menacing Skull go off over at Sayat. We then had contact between Pater and Kelleher. Flack and Butler also had a bit of contact as well going around Repsol. It's not clean at the moment in GT4s. You know, we're remaining impartial as usual, as always. But yeah, it's been quite a mess down in the GT4s having contact left, right, and centre. But Butler is still at the very back of the grid. He's not managing to make any positions up on lap 1, and of course he needs to make positions early if he can.
He's lost positions, hasn't he? He didn't start dead last, or did he?
Who, Butler?
Did Butler start dead last?
So for me, Butler joined in a GT3 Mercedes. On my screen, on my timing screen, and then he's P6 in the GT4s, which is why I was getting confused earlier. So yeah, he was P6 out of 8 cars, and he's now stone dead last.
And look who's up front. We're looking at him now. It's Jay Barker.
Yeah, and Butler's getting it all out of shape going into Elf at the moment. He's running wide. He's just not having a good time whatsoever in the rain. He's squirreling all over the place.
So at this rate, Jay Barker's in with a chance. Speed said that second and third both get a point in qualifying. So that's the extra point that Barker needed to win the championship. So
Barker can win this. Currently, no commentator's curse. I'm touching every bit of wood I can find. Barker is currently leading at the moment. Touching wood. So far, all points considered, if positions are locked in place, Barker's won it.
Charger has had an absolute dream of a start. He's made it up into P2 after the sandbag in qualifying. So it's actually worked this week for him.
Definitely.
Nice one. He's 1.8 seconds behind Barker. And then Menacing Skull is 9/10 behind Charger. So he'll be putting a lot of pressure on. Knowing Skull, he'll have decent pace. Up in the GT3s, Simeonidis has got a 2.5 second gap over Godzilla in the Nissan, and then Badowski behind, 9/10 behind him, and then, as usual, Damien and Crookie only 3/10 apart in P4 and 5, so they're going to be hustling it out for the higher position, because I think What was your calculation about Damien and Crookie for P2? How far away do they have to finish from each other?
Right, let me get the calculator out again. I believe Crookie needs to finish 6 places ahead of Wilk.
That's going to be hard for him.
So if Damien just needs to keep it on the track, it doesn't matter if he loses a place to RWB Crookie, like 1 or 2 places. As long as he keeps it on track and doesn't have a horrific spin off, he's got P2 in the bag. It's
He doesn't know that though. That's what's so exciting.
He doesn't know. Damien's going to be pushing for his life to try and stay ahead of Crookie the whole time. But I mean, Crookie's currently under pressure from Eugenie, who's under pressure from Gix, who's under pressure from Abernoza and Warishchik. So there's already a whole train behind him. And Crookie, I mean, he's got a reputation for bottling it under pressure.
Just a little one.
Just a little bit of a rep. But yeah, he just needs to keep his head down and just keep working forward, keep it on the track, and hope that Damien spins off.
Yeah, so exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
Meanwhile, at the back of the GT3s, Warren is currently under pressure from Van Doren Malen and Baba Ganoush at the back. But they're having a nice relaxing train all the way through. I think they're just going to try and take each other on the straight. But that Nissan is so quick on the straights here. So you can afford to get a poor run out of the final chicane and still manage to pull away, as we can see now on screen.
Yeah, on board with Van Doren Marlin and McLaren, you can see Warren ahead. He didn't get the greatest exit out there, but he still pulled a gap.
It's just mental how quick that Nissan is.
It's just not... It's quite oversteery in the corners, so it depends whether he can... I've never driven it in the wet, to be honest.
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. I love it. You can slide it everywhere. Sorry, I meant to say it was fun, not fast.
Yeah.
But Eugenie is currently under pressure from Gixer up at the front in P6 and 7. Eugenie was pressuring Crookie, but he's now come under pressure from Gixer and he's just dropped back slightly enough to give Crookie some breathing room. So
he can catch up with Damien.
Exactly.
He's now, what, 2.8 seconds ahead of Crookie, so that's got a big gap now. But you never know, Lexus OP in the wet. He could always pull it back. Then again, the Aston...
I hate that Lexus with a passion.
The Aston is strong in the wet as well.
Jake says, I have the power of rookie driver on my side.
Is Jake not racing tonight?
I don't think so. I'm not seeing him anywhere.
No, he's not. Well, I mean, he's typing, so that'll be
pretty
pretty impressive if he's typing in the YouTube chat while racing.
But yeah, at the moment in GT4's Menacing Skull was pressuring Charger, but unfortunately dropped back a little bit, giving Charger some breathing room so he can try and chase down Barker. But Barker's already 2.7 seconds ahead, and there's no sign of him letting up. He's wanting to stay ahead of Butler. And Butler, he's managed to pass Kelleher as well. So I'm gonna get my calculator out again.
So yeah, Butler's up into 7th place now. Barker's still out in 1st. 2.7 seconds over Charger. So at the moment, he's quite comfortable in the lead. Butler is definitely got his head down. He's making his way through the field. He's already passed one person, and he's 2.8 seconds behind Flack. And we look at their pace on the last lap. Flack's last lap was a 2:06.2. Butler's lap was a 2:05.3. So that's a second gained in just the last lap. So we'll see how their pace both pans out as they cross the line now. It looks like the gap's come down. Flack's last lap being a 2:06.6 and Butler's last lap 2:05.5. So again, 1.1 seconds taken out of the gap between those two. So he's definitely on the hunt for Flack. And it's going to be 5-second gap. It's going to be, what, 8 minutes until he's going to be right on the bumper of Flack, looking for that 6th place just to completely cut off Barker's chances. Josh, have you managed to do the calculation yet?
I have done my calcs.
Nice.
So including that point Barker got from Quali, Yeah, he definitely did. He gets that extra point from qualifying. Currently, if Jay Butler stays where he is, they're tied for the championship.
Oh my!
So Barker needs Butler to spin off at the moment, or for Flack and Butler to have an instant, or he just needs Butler to stay where he is in order for him to be tied for the championship right now.
Well, I have a feeling.
So close.
I'm not 100% sure on this, but from what I've seen, I think Butler's got more wins than Barker.
I think so, yeah.
Every time we've watched, Butler seems to win.
Yeah, it's just...
I don't know. He might
stop watching, so Butler suddenly falls off.
Oh yeah, let's give him the anti-curse of the commentators. Just try to not focus on him and see if he can make it more exciting for us.
Well, one person I can tell you to focus on is Menacing Skull, who's currently chasing down Edmonds at the moment in P16, 17 overall. These two, they're just having an amazing battle going through. Menacing Skull, of course, in the Mercedes pulls away on the straight, but then as soon as I get to the corners...
Oh, he's got a bit out of shape there.
Ooh. But yeah, as soon as they get onto the corners, Edmonds catches up, and it looks like he's got the slipstream here. Currently, yeah, that's Edmonds gaining on Skull in a Mercedes, but pulls back in. Like, he doesn't really feel the dive today, and I don't blame him.
I think a dive in the wet is a very risky move.
Yeah, very risky and a bit of a dick move.
Yeah, especially only 12 minutes into the race. 48 minutes to go. You don't want to be going for the massive sends yet.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about the extra point.
Speed's just said it comes down to the fastest lap. Oh my god.
That's even more tense.
Jay Butler, is he back in last again? Oh no, okay. No, that's just how many...
No.
Oh no. He's just got past Flack.
He has got past Flack, yeah. So that is currently Barker, 2 points behind of Butler at the moment. Yeah, so, Barker. I wonder if Barker knows though. I wonder if he's actually paying attention to the championship.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how much people pay attention. I mean, when there's a pair of beautiful sim socks on the line, I think you've got to be paying attention to it, surely.
Oh, definitely.
I would. But at this rate, sadly, Barker is out the running. But you never know. 47 minutes left. A lot can happen, especially in these conditions. So on the weather in the top right, in 30 minutes time, the rain is going to get less. You can see by the little minus sign in the top right of the icon. But you don't know by how much it's going to go down. The rain could be gone within 15 minutes, or it could just pretty much stay on heavy rain for the rest of the race. So you never know.
Yeah, and the annoying thing is it's just after the pit window as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This could get spicy.
Could get spicy. Imagine if it just suddenly dries up.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? It's going to be sunny in like 35 minutes.
It is 26-degree temperature.
Hot rain. Can make tea. Just get your mug out. Put a bag on them. Boom.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be the nicest tea in the world, not gonna lie. Jake says he needs some sim stocks. How much pace do you gain? I've heard a rumour that it's a few tenths a lap.
Well, Jake, if you go to simsock.com, you can find yourself some more details on what these sim stocks actually are. The best way I can describe them is they're basically like normal socks with rubber bits attached to the bottom of them. So they stop you, like, it's like you're wearing socks, but your feet don't slide about all over the pedals. Like, I've got myself some, well, free ones that I got from like a jumpy castle, like a bouncy castle place. And they're absolutely amazing. So having proper ones that don't actually fall apart every time you put them in the wash would be absolutely fantastic. Which is what these guys are fighting for, and you know, it's pretty good. Like, I wouldn't complain.
So Andrew Anderson, the current leader of the championship, even though he's untouchable in the championship, he's down in P10. What's going on there?
You know, some people fancy a day off.
True that. Maybe he's just not so good at this track, and he's just managed to smash out the rest of the season. Damien and Cruikshanks, they're still... In fact, it looks like Cruikshanks has got a little bit closer. It's 2.2 second gap now, compared to the 2.8 that it was earlier.
It's slowly coming down, yeah.
It is coming down. I wish I could get in a voice chat with Cruikshanks and egg him on. Just tell him to get his foot down and catch up with Damien.
What I'll do is I'll send him a Discord message right now.
No, don't distract him. Don't distract him. Spam Damien. Oh. So Simeonidis is now pulled the gap out to 4 seconds. He's come out of nowhere into this championship, and now he's just running away with the race. If he had been here from the start, he could have challenged Anderson for the win of Tier 2. But fair play, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, yeah. Godzilla, P2, 2.5 second gap over Marko Badowski in P3. He's been really consistent through this season. Consistently high finishes, podiums, wins. So I'm surprised that he's not higher up in the Drivers' Championship. I don't know whether he's missed a couple of rounds or something.
You know, some people do well in the wet. Some people, well, for me, Barcelona is one of those Marmite tracks.
Yeah.
Similar to Bathurst. You either do really, really well at it and you love it, or you just think it's the absolute worst, which is my opinion. I absolutely hate Barcelona with a passion. Whenever it comes up, I've got a good reason, though, for hating Barcelona. Public lobby went in a race and they restarted it 4 times. Restarted the start of the race 4 times. Just because people couldn't do turn 1 and turn 2. And that's one of the reasons why I hate it. I hate Barcelona with a passion. But there's people out there who absolutely love it, of course. I think people may have forgotten what Barcelona is like after the T-rings. The qualifying for the very start of the season was done at Barcelona as well.
Well, at least they've all got practice here, because they all made it into Tier 2. Speed says that Simeonidis joined after the first race. So that means he's been in the races that we've commentated on, Josh.
I've just lost. See, no. I just don't remember seeing him. He's just come out of nowhere for me.
I know. I would have thought that name would ring a bell if I'd seen it before, but it just doesn't.
Definitely.
Well,
but yeah, Kelleher has retired in the GT4 category.
Oh no.
I'm hoping it's not just because of the weather conditions, but it's a shame. Which means that Butler would have to drop all the way down to stone dead at the last for there to be, to be drawn.
But even then, it would be drawn, and then in order for Barker to win, he would have to set the fastest lap of the race in GT4s. Yep. So
it's tight.
Oh my god, it's so tight. But Flack is currently 7.5 seconds behind Butler. After, I don't know if you guys saw when we just jumped camera onto Flack, he was on the runoff area. So it's not going amazing for Flack at the moment. So I don't know how feasible it is. Unless Butler makes big mistakes, it looks like he might have it in the bag.
Well, you know, we've seen people who are absolutely golden at this track, like set perfect qualifying laps, and then in the wet they just do absolutely pish poor. Like they just can't do anything. And it's unfortunate, but the rain is the great equalizer. What balances the field out?
Yeah, it definitely spices things up a lot.
I mean, I'm not complaining about the wet. Last time I commentated on a wet race was 6 hours of Paul Ricard. And I'll tell you what, that was an absolute brilliant race to commentate on. If you're watching and you've not seen the 6 hours of Paul Ricard, please just go watch it, even if it's the last hour, last 2 hours. It's absolutely hilarious for me and James. We were howling the whole time. But I'm sure, Alex, you can tell us about the wet conditions in ACC. It's not quite amazing, is it?
The yellow thunderstorm is not enjoyable to drive. got Crawford in the chat now, at least, Josh.
Oh,
to bring some hype to the chat.
Hi Crawford. Where's the hype at? Where's the hype at, my man?
All we need is James in the chat now.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's currently in a hotel. Well, we're not past the watershed, so I'm not going to say what I was going to say. But he's currently celebrating his pole today.
Yeah,
the Silverstone 500.
So James being, if you watched us 2 weeks ago, we had our guest commentator James Kell,
Yeah.
British
Same
GT4,
racing driver.
Yeah, British GT4 driver, and in the Supra GT4 they've actually managed to go and get pole position at the Silverstone 500 this weekend. So it's pretty impressive from him.
Definitely.
And I'm definitely excited to watch the race and see whether they can manage to get their first win of the season. Crawford
just can't type, but while Crawford's not being able to type, the pit window is now open. So before everyone heads into the pits,
stop typing in the chat now.
Stop typing.
We need to be serious.
Yeah.
Oh.
But while we're laughing at Crawford and while the pit window is open, we'll give a very quick overview of what's going on in the positions. In GT3, Simeonidis is currently P1 with Godzilla in P2 and Badowski in P3. Wilk and Cricky are currently in P4 and 5, and they're closing up on each other. Not quickly, but who knows, the undercut might work around here, especially with a lack of that aero wash, which I believe is a myth. And then in P6 is Eugenie. For the GT4s, well, I may as well cover the whole thing, so there's only 7 GT4s out today. Unfortunate, we've got Jay Barker in P1, with RWB Charger in P2, Edmonds in P3 with Pater in P4, Menacing Skull in P5, and Jay Butler in P6, hoping to try and keep Barker away from that championship win in GT4s for Tier 2. And then in P7 is RWB Flak. So yeah, I'm gutted for Barker because he could win it, but I also want to cheer on Butler because he's done a fantastic job this whole season.
I don't know who to support. It's always more exciting to support the underdog, though.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah,
Harry throwing some beef at Crookshanks.
I have to agree with Harry after seeing 2 of Cricky's Paul Ricard performances. He's not the best at Paul Ricard.
You didn't see the one on Monday. You didn't see the one on Monday.
Oh no.
Oh, we had a in the British University Sim Racing League. It was 2.4 hours of Paul Ricard, and I think Cricky lasted 4 laps or something before he managed to crash twice in 4 laps and ended up dead last and like 2 laps down on anyone. So yeah, that's where Harry's beef is coming from.
Oh, of course.
Oh. All right, let's get back to the race. Simeonidis still absolutely smashing it out, 2.5 seconds ahead of Godzilla, who's in P2, and then Badowski 5 seconds behind Godzilla in P3. Then Damien 2/10 off a podium at the moment. In fact, he's actually looks like he's going to go for a move into turn 1. They're side by side. No, he's pulled in behind. Wasn't quite close enough that time, but he's managed to pull that gap in quite a lot since we last had a look. So Damien's definitely going to be seeing this as a chance for a podium. Crookie is dropped back actually. He's now 4 seconds behind Damien, sitting in P5, and he's got Eugenie on his tail just a second behind. So that could get quite interesting between those two.
Spicy.
Definitely, Crookshanks is going to be hoping that Eugenie can't catch up, because that's going to completely mess up his chances of catching Damien. Then in the GT4s, Jay Barker is currently 8.3 seconds ahead of Edmonds. I was expecting to see Charger in P2. I don't know what's happened. He's dropped from P2 to P4 there.
I have a feeling in that rear-engined Porsche. I wonder if he's kicked it out.
Yeah, it's not the greatest in the wet, is it?
It's not. It's not fantastic.
Martin Edmonds in the Aston is now P2 in the GT4 class. Then we've got Martin Pater in the AMG P3, Charger P4. Jay Butler has managed to overtake Skull. What's happened with Skull?
Skull went in for the pits.
Oh, so okay, Skull's pitted.
It's not the end of the world for Skull.
Yeah, but Jay Butler is now currently excluding the pit stop of Skull. Jay Butler is in the same position of P6, I think, and then Flack in P7. So it is definitely hotting up in those P2 to 5 in the GT4s. Is getting interesting. Yeah, so Simeonidis is in the pits now. Badowski's managed to pull a 1.5 second gap over Damien in a lap. Don't know what happened there. Damien must have gone for a move and slid or lost control. Managed to lose 1.5 seconds. That gives Crookie a chance at Damien, or does it? Let's have a look.
With that 3.6 second gap, I don't think so. He's under constant pressure from Eugenie as Eugenie snaps off, but he's come back on. Oh, nearly slicing the back of Crookie's bumper.
Yeah, it looked like Eugenie went for a move there and just put the power down a touch too early, and it's just slid him out with these wet conditions, and he almost binned it into the wall, but managed to keep hold of it, only going on the grass. So Cruikshank's going to be feeling the pressure now. A tight battle like this in the wet is definitely more intense than in the dry. All while he can see his rival Damien running away in front of him. So I'm not sure. It doesn't look like, looking at the weather forecast, it's still 30 minutes rain, so it looks like we're going to have a completely wet race, which means there's not going to be really any strategy calls for the for switching to dry tires, and also the wet tires don't wear as much as the dry, so the wear isn't as noticeable as Cruikshank dives into the pits there, going for the halfway pit stop strategy. In fact, I think Damien went into the pits as well.
I think he's following Damien.
So you never know. You might see, depending on how good they both are at pit stops. I know there's a few seconds to be gained in the pit stop in ACC by turning your engine off at the right time. So you never know. That might close the gap up between those two, make it a bit more interesting.
Crawford currently lashing out at Crookie, saying Crookie lasts longer at pull regard when he does in bed to be.
How do you know that, Crawford?
I'm wondering how Crawford knows that.
Crawford, have you got something to tell us?
Did you remember to say no? Homo. But whatever you two get up to in bed, let's just keep it between yourselves.
Yeah, that's not for YouTube chat. I think this stream might get flagged if you start.
We're not
going into detail. So Godzilla's got a 7-second lead over Badowski now. So that's effective P1 and 2 of the GT3 class. Actually, is it?
P1, P2. Provisional P1, P2 at the moment. But Simeonidis, who was in P1, he dropped all the way down to P11.
No, there's something wrong there, surely. He's 46 seconds behind.
I mean, it says for me that he's behind Damien and Crookie as well, so something... There we go.
Okay.
So that makes a lot more sense.
Okay.
I was about to be quite worried. I was quite worried for Simeonidis. I was worried that he'd done the typical Porsche driver in the wet thing where they snap it round. But no, he's still in contention. And most likely he's still in P1 with his phenomenal drive today.
Crawford's throwing shade at Godzilla now.
Don't get involved. It was Crawford's fault.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't comment. I wasn't there. I haven't seen the incident.
But yeah, anyway, it's been a fairly chilled race, to be honest. I mean, the only thing that's kind of kept everything super interesting is the wet and watching that first lap. I'm gutted you missed out on the GT4 action at the back, because there was so many so many nudges and people going off. But the championship, it's still potentially there, especially for between Butler and Barker. Like if Butler slides off even once and ends up down at the bottom, that's Barker potentially got it if he gets the fastest lap.
Yeah, it's tense. It's tense for those two.
It's almost like Kelleher's kind of disconnecting and retiring has kind of helped Butler a little bit more, because even if Butler fell behind Kelleher, then that would have won Barker. Barker would have won it.
Yeah, literally. That might have thrown a spanner in the works for Barker, the fact that Kelleher retired. So currently, we've just hit the halfway mark in the race, so we're halfway through the pit window. It looks like we've got about half the field to pit still. I'm looking at those gaps of Simeonidis, and it looks, those gaps are quite big. We've got 7 seconds to P7 and 20 seconds to P6, and then another 12 seconds to P5. So I don't know whether he managed to mess up his pit stop badly, but to me that adds up to more than 30 seconds. Actually, no. Hang on. It's 30 seconds to drive through the pits, isn't it? And then it's another 30 seconds for the pit stop. My brain isn't working today. So actually, he probably is still.
I think he's still in. Yeah, he's still in P1. Especially with Simeonidis' times still being up at the top anyway, compared to everyone else's times.
So yeah, Charger's currently sitting in P4 of the GT4s, and that's once he pits. I think Skull's going to take the position back. So Charger's in P5. So the sandbagging quality worked. Yeah, it worked for the first kind of 20 minutes of the race, and then he managed to drop the positions with what we suspect to be a spin, but we'll try and find out post race.
Well, he's also got Butler right up his trough as well.
Yeah,
and Butler's managed to bring that gap massively down. Is basically riding him all the way around,
and that's going to be an extra position for Butler just to put the nail in the coffin for Barker, which is unfortunate. But in fact, Butler's just got through, hasn't he?
Yeah, Butler's somehow managed to just go around the outside of me, just found a grip.
Yeah.
In the wet, like I don't even know where he found that and just went for it.
The karting line.
Yeah, it was like Charger wasn't even there.
Fair play, fair play. So currently, I think that puts Butler in the lead to win the Sim Socks, the coveted Sim Socks.
Definitely.
Current race leader Godzilla going into the pit, so we might see Simeonidis taking back the lead now. Actually, no, because obviously there's the 4 other people that haven't pitted, but...
Well, you say that, but Simeonidis just went off at
Did he?
Lakaika. Yeah, he just went off at the chicane, and now he's bumped into Charger.
Oh, this could be tight.
And Charger's just run off the track, and yeah, it's just...
Oh, he's not going to be happy with that.
It's not on his way whatsoever, Simeonidis. And like, after that, I do have a feeling that there will be an incident reported for that, because we always talk about GT3, GT4 traffic and collisions between them, but that was completely not on, and that's just unfortunate for Charger, because he was actually having a really good race.
Charger is not going to be happy.
Oh no.
Oh, here we go. So you can see who is
Godzilla
that?
coming
yeah,
out the
Godzilla
pits
just coming out the pits, and Simeonidis is what, 2/10 in front? We'll find out the next split, but they're right on each other there. If we jump on the back of Simeonidis' car, you can see Godzilla, that big Nissan, right behind. That's close. This could be a closer battle for the lead than we thought after that pit stop. Or after Simeonidis' That's a hard word to say. Simeonidis's incident with Charger.
Yeah, he definitely cut it very close. But yeah, I have a feeling Charger will have a few words to say about that incident at the very end. And yeah, I wouldn't be. I'm still remaining impartial, but yeah, there might be some flack coming his way. And not RWB flack is currently in P20 overall, down in P7 at the very back.
Sorry, I missed what you said there, Josh. Did you ask me a question?
No.
Good. I had to take my headphones off. So Baba Ganoush is currently in the pits. We've still got Eugenie Abrinoza and Worrischek to pit in the GT3s, and Jay Barker and in fact Jay Barker and Jay Butler both still out. So Jay Butler's actually currently in P2, but I think there's probably going to be a kind of minute and a half gap between them when the gaps update. But we'll see. Crookie and Damien, their little battle seems to have been interrupted by Badowski and Gixxer, as they've managed to get themselves in between the two of them. It's now seems like quite a big gap.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, the gaps go weird when people pit. My brain can't compute.
Yeah, so it's about a 10-second gap between them. 10-11 seconds between Cricky and Wilk. But it's one thing to, even if you're half a second faster a lap, it's one thing to catch up to someone, but it's another thing to try and overtake them. And remember, Cricky has to pass Damien, and then hope Damien crashes or spins off, so he can get, what's that, about... Hang on, I'm doing maths. He has to make 6 positions up on Damien in order for Cricky to get P2 in the bag. So it's all I just saw there Cricky nearly hit Butler as Butler spun across the track in the wet, but that could have been a good thing for Barker and a bad thing for Cricky in his hopes to try and get up at the front.
So the top 3 in GT3 are all in the pits right now, so hopefully after this lap it should become a lot easier for me to understand how this race is going on, because at the moment I'm struggling trying to work out where everyone is. Crawford is telling me that I sound like I've downed half a bottle of vodka and inhaled 20 paracetamols. I'm not surprised, to be fair. I'm just not with it today. I think it's probably the fact the small amount of drink plus not eating much makes it difficult for my brain to compute. I'm not sure if this is correct, but no, it's not correct. I thought I saw Eugenie in pole and there was no pit sign, but actually he was just exiting the pits.
Yeah.
So Simeonidis is back into first place. Damien Wilkes actually managed to overtake Godzilla and take P2. And Godzilla's in P3, Badowski in P4, Gixxer P5, Eugenie P6, Crookie Sound in P7. This doesn't look good. I don't know what happened, but he seems to have dropped off quite a lot, and the chances of him finishing 7 or so places ahead of Damien to get P2 in the championship is pretty slim now. Down in the GT4s with 58 seconds left in this pit window, John Barker has still not gone in. He's currently in first place. Hopefully we see him go in this lap, but you never know. If he suddenly forgets how to do pit stops, we might see him misses pit stop and throw away the championship, but I highly doubt it. We'll probably see him go into the pits here. Here you go, yeah. He has gone into the pits. So we'll see where he comes out. But Jay Butler is down in P5 of the GT4s. Charger's managed to drop behind him. So I think, in fact, we saw the overtake. Charger is still behind, and now it's dropped down to 11 seconds gap. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of chance of Charger catching back up with Butler. So I think at this point in the race, it's going to be difficult for Barker to win the championship. It's going to take some divine intervention that somehow knocks Butler off the track.
I've just seen a retirement. I think Gixxer has retired from the race at the moment, just now.
Yeah, you would be correct on that. I did see the
little shuffle, yeah.
Yeah, the little shuffle of the leaderboard. Gixxer has retired. I'm not sure what that was for, but who knows. So that doesn't really make a lot of difference in the standings. I think he was in P10 when he retired. So it just bumps up Warren, Babaganoush and Duran Marlin up into 10th, 11th and 12th in the GT3s. We've still got Simeonidis way out in front, but it's only 5.2 seconds to Damien. And considering that it was an 8-second gap before the pit stops to Godzilla, I don't know where Damien's pace has come from.
No idea, but he's managed to pass. Damien's managed to pass Godzilla quite easily, but Godzilla is not giving up at all. He's still following him all the way down the pit straight.
It's just a 4/10 gap as they cross the line. He moves to the inside just probably to get out of the spray more than anything. If you jump on board with Godzilla, as he looks like he's going to go around the outside and get the inside. Yeah, there you go. So he's got the inside through Renault corner and managed to hold it and get past Damien. But guarantee you Damien's not going to give it up that easily. He's going to have another go later on in this lap. You can see in the mirror at the top Damien gaining time just on the braking zone into Repsol, and now as they go through Seat, Damien just following behind. The spray is not helpful in these conditions. As we go on board with Damien, you can see how it kind of like how much visibility it takes away from you. And he's just
trying to leave that as well. It's also the computing power, like rendering all that rain as well is tough on these computers, and it ends up lowering your resolution and you get some frame drops. So it's not just the problem of visibility, it's also about how well these guys' computers, if they can handle it or not as well. But luckily for Damien, Godzilla's coming up to RWB Charger, and I have a feeling Charger's going to be super defensive after his tangle earlier with Simeonidis in the GT3. So yeah, that's already got Damien right up behind Godzilla, just from passing Charger.
You can see the way that Godzilla kind of waited behind Charger for the opportunity to overtake, and as soon as that opportunity arose, Damien chucked himself in there just to stick on the back of Godzilla so that he could get through the same gap and not lose any time at all. And that's brought down the gap down to 0.3 of a second between them. And now he's just going to be watching where Godzilla's strong, where the Nissan's strong, and working out where he can get the overtake done. It looks like Godzilla's taking quite a tight line through there, so I don't know if Damien manages to get the power down early enough, he might be able to get a run. But then again, Nissan power, even with like a less than perfect exit, you can still manage to hold the gap. The gap's gone up to 0.6, so I wonder if Damien's going to be able to hold on, or whether he's just going to slowly fall away for the rest of the race. But I hope we can see Damien going for a move for second place. I think Crookie is probably too far back now for the last 15 minutes to be challenging the P2 in the championship, considering unless of course Damien does.
If Damien bottles it and ends up all the way down in P12, Crookie's got it.
That is true. How likely is that though? Probably not that likely.
Judging by Damien's consistency,
he is a very consistent
this
driver.
session, he's just settled in. I've not seen him make any mistakes whatsoever. He's not kicked the back out. He's not understeered anywhere. He's been quite robotic, just setting lap after lap after lap. But at the moment, Anderson's currently under pressure from Roricek as they went through Bank Sabadell. But Anderson, he just needs to cruise home. Like, he doesn't even need to finish the race. To be honest, he can just kind of just take it nice and easy, and
he could retire now and still win the championship.
He still win, yeah. Like, he doesn't really need to do this.
There you go. You can see he's made a mistake, gone deep, and he's just slammed the brakes on, let Roricek through, because he knew if he had gone for that into the second chicane, they would have tangled, and that would have been both of them sideways in the runoff area. So he's made a good call there. No, he probably knows at this point that he just needs to.
He's got his syntax. He just needs to.
Yeah, he just needs to not embarrass himself at this point by taking someone out, which is so. It was a good move there from Anderson by slamming on the brakes.
I'm currently watching RWB Flak, who's currently sitting in the pits with a stop go 30 seconds.
Oh no!
And I'm wondering if he's serving his penalty or if he's had some issue that's caused him to to go back to the pits for like damage or something. I don't know. But I think that's kind of his race over.
Yeah, I would say that as well. That's unfortunate. I think the stop go is probably for speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah.
So that means Charger's pretty safe in P6. Jay Butler,
he's won it.
Yeah. What's the gap now? It's not updated, but it's there you go, 15-second gap from Butler to Charger. So, assuming Butler manages to hold the 15-second gap, then I think he's going to be winning the GT4 championship.
I'll get my calculator out again.
Assuming I haven't misremembered what you were talking about earlier, Josh. I think that might be him.
3, 4, 5. No, so we're Flak in the pits. And being 2 laps behind Charger, I think that no matter the scenario, Butler is ahead of Flak at the moment. So that is Butler effectively won the championship. So yeah, it's unfortunate that it's due to retirements and penalties, but that's racing. And it's just one of the great things about this championship. It keeps you on your toes all the way to the end.
Yeah, last race being that close for the championship is pretty cool to see.
It's brilliant to see this tiering system actually work. Compared to other leagues that I've seen where, especially for like Project Car 2 leagues I used to be in, the tiering system was just absolute, like, it was a myth. Like tiering and that was just hopeless. But yeah, seeing it actually work in this and people actually pushing and qualifying so you can actually race against people that they should be racing against, it's just absolutely brilliant to see, and it does give us this really close championship at the end.
Cos is egging on Godzilla. It's only a 5-second gap. That's come down. It was what 5.7 or something earlier. I think 11 minutes is going to be a push to catch Simeonidis, but you might see a mistake. Although we haven't seen mistakes come from Simeonidis so far in the race, he's been really consistent and fast at the same time.
Ooh, you say that, but I've been keeping an eye out on Simeonidis, and he has had a couple of whoopsies.
Has he?
Especially around the pit window. He had that incident with Charger.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He also nearly got tangled with Butler as well when Butler slid across the track. So Simeonidis, he's done fantastic, and he's definitely got pace. but he has had a few slip-ups here and there, which, yeah, I think that's kind of balanced him out against Godzilla and is letting Godzilla catch up, because that gap's down to 4.2 now.
Oh, that's come down quickly. This could get tight for the lead then. 4.8. I don't know. We'll have to wait.
That is true. RWB cause says there are back markers now, which could get in the way of and slow them down.
Very true. It looks like Flack has retired from the race then, I guess. So he's been in the pits a lot longer than 30 seconds now.
Yeah, that is retirement or extreme damage.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anyone get more than like 2 minutes of damage in this game, so I think that must have been a huge crash. Let's see what the gap between Simeonidis and Godzilla is. Oh, it's gone up to 5.4. I don't know what Godzilla's doing, but he's losing quite a lot of time. 3 seconds back to Damien Wilkin, 3rd place. Then we've got Badowski in 4th place, 2.2 seconds behind Damien. Eugenie, 8 seconds behind Badowski in P5. And then RWB Crookie, another 5.8 seconds behind P5. So they're quite spread out at the front of the GT3s. They're all at least 3 seconds apart from each other. And then even down to P10, they're all kind of just like spread out along the track equally. Then in GT4s, John Barker, he's doing all he can, to be fair. Fair play. He's driven a pretty consistent race. He's still out in the lead by 1.25 seconds, it looks like, as he has been for the whole race. So he's doing all he can for the championship, but I just think, in fact, no, it's not going to be possible. Jay Butler's got...
It's literally impossible now with Flack's retirement for Barker to win it, which is unfortunate.
Oh no, that's so sad.
But you know what? He did his best, and he actually gave it his all. And there's nothing else he could have done. He's actually done a stellar performance today.
Yeah, definitely.
He's managed to fight off Edmonds. He's just led pretty much all the way through. It's just perfect for him. Absolutely brilliant performance.
Although he's got Martin Edmonds not too far behind. So I don't know whether he'll be feeling the pressure at all, or whether he's pretty comfortable. I'm assuming with his consistency, he's probably got a decent setup for the rain. So I highly doubt he'll be worrying too much about the final couple of laps of the race.
Definitely. I mean, his last lap was 0.1 seconds off his best lap. So there's no sign of him slowing down.
Yeah. Simeonidis still holding the gap at 4.7 seconds over Godzilla. So I think Godzilla's going to have to settle for 2nd place at this point, with Damien only 5 seconds behind. So I guess consistent drive to the end, and he'll manage to hold this. Crookie is pretty much nowhere now. I think that's definitely it over. So we've got Anderson's taken the lead, and Damien's going to take P2 in the championship, and we're going to have Crookshanks in P3. And then in the GT4s, I think it's going to be James Butler take the win of the championship. We're going to have John Barker in P2. Actually, do you want to confirm, Josh? I think...
Oh, between Skull and Barker?
Between Skull and Barker. It's going to be
I think Barker will be ahead. Menacing Skull would have to finish 3 places ahead of Barker in order to change positions.
But it is only going to be 2 points separating them, isn't it?
Let me get my math. Let me get my thinking cap on. There'll be... there will be... I'm trying to do 4 plus 4. There'll be 8 points between them.
8 points between them?
8 points between
them.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, at this rate.
Okay. So not as close as I thought.
But yeah, it's getting close. Like, yeah, as Speedham points out, between P1 and P2, Godzilla is gaining. He's slowly gaining, but I don't think it's enough time. I think it's too little, too late at this point.
Yeah, I think he's just left it too late to put the hammer down.
But we've got Pater currently. I think Butler managed to get past Pater as well. But Pater's not letting go. He's still trying to fight and stick on with Butler. But Butler's just got so much pace in that Ginetta. It's one of those cars where you never think it's actually going to be quick, but here he is. He's gone off and done it. It's similar to Elgard in that Honda up in Tier 1.
Yeah. Speed Demon thinks Simeonidis underfueled. Now that would make it exciting.
Ooh.
His last lap was only a second off his best. So
he was 0.1 second though before that off his best. Like, he's been setting consistent laps, but now he's suddenly dropping off.
Yeah, but last lap Godzilla was 1.2 seconds faster. Godzilla set his fastest lap of the race on the last lap, so he's definitely decided he wants to go for this.
Yeah, Godzilla's pushing with all he can, and I think Speed Demon might be right. That Simeonidis, he might not have put in enough fuel because his pace is dropping off.
I wish we could see their fuel.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. He's just taking out, what, 0.5 seconds off his time.
Running a little
Godzilla
bit wide
goes
there.
off and, yeah, definitely gets a track cut one in there.
Tactical, though. If he's only got 1 or 2 cuts, then he's got to
Now's
use
the
them
time
to
to
his
use them.
advantage to gain the time.
But you can see he's pushing it, like, he's using all of the track he can.
The gap's down to 2.7 seconds now.
Oh, and down in GT4, Butler just binned himself off over its
He's going slow.
Which means Pater managed to
overtaken
get
by
past,
Pater.
but it looked like it was an instant between the two, so Pater pulled off his side to let Butler back in front.
And that was a GT3 get past, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a GT3 Nissan.
Yeah, B Warren.
So that should be Warren, yeah.
Yeah.
With his very colourful livery, as he pointed out at Kyalami.
2.6 seconds now separates Simeonidis and Godzilla for P1 in the GT3s. They've got 2 laps remaining, assuming... Where are they on the lap? Actually, yeah, pretty much 2 laps remaining. Down to 1.9 seconds. That gap is dropping fast.
It really is.
Again, last lap, Godzilla was nearly a second quicker than Simeonidis, just on the 1 lap. So it's
I just think it's too little too late. Like, yeah, he's got, if you can get a second off this lap, and a second off next lap, he's in front. But as I've said before, it's one thing to catch up, but quite another to overtake, especially in the wet.
True.
It's going to be a very tall order for Godzilla to try and get past. I'm sure Crawford right now is currently begging for Simeonidis to get magically like 3 extra litres in the car so he can push more.
He doesn't want Godzilla to win.
Oh, it's just I don't know what Crawford's on, but he's out for blood at the moment. But yeah, speaking of blood, Godzilla's also out for blood. He's hunting him down. He's just right up, like he's coming up. This is tough.
Yeah, so they're just coming through
on the straight compared to the Porsche. It's going to be insane on the straight.
This is going to be the final lap now as Simeonidis goes across the line. And it's down to 1 second, the gap there. Just come down another 2 tenths. 3 tenths, can't remember. Last lap, Simeonidis with the 154.7. Godzilla with the 53.2. Again, his fastest lap of the race. He's just beat it again. He is absolutely flying now. He wants this bad.
Just checking where Godzilla currently is. I wonder if he's not actually using his the same name on a.
Oh yeah, on race app.
Yeah.
Just look for the Nissan. I don't think he's in contention for a place, but
no,
he wants the win of the final race. You can just see how little visibility there is in the spray now. This is going to make it extremely hard. The gap's now down to 6 tenths. He's pulled another 4 tenths on him just in the first sector of the final lap. Simeonidis has to have run out of fuel.
He must be. It's just, come on. Just absolutely go for it, Godzilla. Just get the send that we want to watch.
They're coming into the final sector of the lap. And this gap is definitely less than 6 tenths now.
I don't think he's got it in him, unless Simeonidis bottles it and has a little kick of the arse. I think he's got it. It's quite easy to defend.
I think he has.
This last sector.
And assuming he would have saved enough fuel to have a clean run to the line. That's close though. We'll see the gap when they cross the line, but it looks like Simeonidis is going to manage to hold him off, even with what looks like a lack of fuel. So Godzilla finished the race 5 tenths behind. So in 3 laps, the gap's gone from 5 seconds to 5 tenths. That was quite intense.
Definitely.
Damien Wilk has managed to hold it in P3, 10 seconds off P2. And Badowski P4, only 4 tenths off a podium. And then lower down, we've got Eugenie in P5, RWB Crookie just crossing the line for P6, Abranoza P7, Warriorscheck P8, Andrew Anderson, the championship winner, crosses the line in P9, but he's too far ahead in the championship for anyone to steal it off him. So he's going to be winning that pair of sim socks. Then we've got Brandon Warren P10 just coming through the final chicane. If we jump on board with John Barker, who's just crossed the line to win the GT4 race, he's done all he can to win the championship, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Martin Edmonds crosses the line in P2. Menacing Skull just comes out into the final corner to cross the line in P3. Then we've got Martin Pater P4. Charger P5. What happened to James Butler?
Oh, he's had an absolute shocker. He's been spinning left, right, and centre. I think he's been getting into quite a lot of.
It's not going to be enough, though, is it?
I don't think it is. No,
I don't think it is.
If Flack was still in the running, he would have. But no, unfortunately.
So Charger crosses the line in P5, and James Butler is going to bring up the rear of the finishers in P6 as he slides through the final corner. He has not had the greatest.
Let me double check with my maths quickly.
I don't know, but I think it's close.
I think so too.
I think it's going to be down to the fastest lap.
Hang on, let me double check my maths.
This is exciting. So yeah, I think the GT3 championship is Andrew Anderson takes the win in the with 400. No, actually, I'm not even going to try and tell you how many points it is because maths. Andrew Anderson is going to take the win. Damien Wilk is going to take P2, and RWB Crookie is going to take P3 in the championship. Then in GT4s, waiting for confirmation from Josh, but I think it's going to come down to the fastest lap of that race.
No, Butler managed to edge it out by... Wait, I want
Josh, we need confirmation. We need full confirmation. So it's between...
Butler's won it by 2 points.
Oh my gosh.
According to my maths.
So I think, according to Josh's maths, we'll wait for full confirmation. Hopefully Speed can help us out. But we think James Butler has won the championship by 2 points after trying to make it hard for himself on his least favourite track, making it hard for himself and then managing to mess up the final few laps of the race and finish in last place of the GT4s. And he has probably taken the win of the GT4 championship. Then we've got John Barker in P3, and I think Menacing Skull. It's between Menacing Skull and Edmonds for P4, but I think where did Edmonds finish? I'm not sure. Josh, you're going to have to help me out. I don't have the final finishing positions.
So I sent them to you on Discord.
Oh, yeah.
But I can give a rundown now.
Nice one.
So I'm just trying to get people in for interviews. So in P1 for the GT3s, we had Simeonitis in the 35 Porsche, followed very close by Godzilla, who fought all the way to the end, but unfortunately, it was one lap too little. In P3, we had Wilk, who was followed by Badowski, Eugenie, and in P6, we had Cricky, who was hoping to try and get those, 6 places above Wilk in order for or 3 places ahead of Cricky, in front of Wilk. Sorry, my head's all over the place. And Abranosa in P7 with Rocek in P8, Anderson in P9 with Warren in P10, in that really colourful Nissan. In P11, we had Baba Ganoush, and finally in P12, we had Van Doren Malin in the McLaren. In the GT4s, we had Barker in P1. He did a fantastic drive trying to edge out Butler in the championship, but unfortunately, according to my maths, he's 2 points behind. In P2, we had Edmonds followed by Skull with Pater in P4, Charger in P5 after that fantastic lap in P2 in lap 1, but unfortunately he's down there. In P6, we have Butler, who's managed to get the championship point for GT4, but he's also won it overall as well, I believe, if we look at overall points between GT3 and GT4. We then had RWB Flack finally at the very back, but it looked like he had a retirement. So yeah, that's overall, that's everything there and then. But let's see if I've got Barker currently waiting for comms in the GT4 winner. Barker, hi John, can you hear us?
Hi, yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
Hi, brilliant drive from you, absolutely flawless. I certainly didn't see anything when I was watching you drive today. How was that for you?
A very long race. No, it was good, but there was only one pace. I think at least a couple of other guys were faster than me, but as soon as I tried to push a little bit more, it just ran into pushing off and understeering. So, yeah, maybe just luck or consistency, but good race. Yeah, good.
Definitely. We've been talking pretty much non-stop tonight about the championship overall, because this was the final one. And unfortunately, we've calculated that you were 2 points behind P1 in the championship, finishing at P2, which we're absolutely gutted. We were hoping that Butler would spin off at some point and give you that extra position that you need. But yeah, it's absolutely gutted, but fantastic for you in P2, despite that. It's absolutely brilliant.
Josh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
No problem. It was a great series, and to be honest, James deserved it. He just flew through most of the races. He did really, really well. So, to be honest, I don't mind finishing a close second. That's perfect.
The standings have just been updated, and you are 1 point off James Butler.
Damon Hill and Martin
finished on 575 points, and you finished on 574 points.
Wow, that's close.
That was insane. We were following it. Me and Josh were trying to do our quick maths throughout the whole race, trying to work out where you needed to finish and where Butler needed to finish. And you finished first, and Butler was actually the last finisher of the GT4s tonight. So I think without the retirement of Flack or Gixxer, I think it was. Who was the other GT4 that retired?
Hang on, I've got it here. Flack and Kelleher.
Flack and Kelleher. If one of them hadn't have retired, and because I think James Butler was having a struggle on the last couple of laps with spinning, if he had finished behind one of those two, I think he would have won the championship. So it was that close.
Wow, that's good. That's entertainment, and I didn't even know. So
yeah, we were talking about the fact that you probably wouldn't even realise how close it was.
No, I just thought he was unreachable, to be honest, because he's finished, I don't know, 3 or 4 times with wins, I think. So
yeah,
I knew it was going to be relatively close, but I didn't know it was going to be that close. Anyway, yeah, congratulations on the championship, James. Good one. And also Skull and Martin Edmonds as well. They both did really well.
Yeah,
good racing all the way through.
Perfect. Anyway, thank you for joining us tonight.
No problem. Thanks for all the commentating. It's really entertaining to watch. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
So that was John Barker, our P1 of the race, but unfortunately P2 overall. I just saw James Butler, but he's disappeared somewhere. I'll see if I can kind of try and get him back. But we do have Dimitris. Dimitris, who was our P1 guy in GT3. Hi, Dimitris, can you hear us?
Yeah, man.
Hey, that fantastic drive from you. How did you find it?
Good, man. I had a couple of contacts though that I'm not too happy for. Because I was the guy who shouldn't have done that. I was that wrong. So yeah, but other than that, great first race with you guys. I haven't done it before. I haven't raced for 4 or 5 months. I used to race with ESR a lot. So
yeah, it was fantastic to watch. We did see some contact for GT4, I think, at one of the final corners. But no, it was still a fantastic drive from you all the way through. How did you find the rain?
the rain, I don't know. It was all right at the beginning of the race. It was good. Qualifying was good. Like there was time there, but then by the end of the race, it was getting hard, man. You were getting tired. So yeah. Tough one.
It was still a fantastic drive. Alex, do you have any questions for our P1 man in the GT3 pack?
Yeah, we saw just in the final few laps, you had a 5.8 second lead over P2, and we had Speed Demon in chat speculating that you'd underfueled the car. Was that right, or was it just the fact that you were done with the rain and you couldn't hold the pace?
It was a bit of both, but I managed to I thought it was a 40-minute race to begin with, so I calculated for 40 minutes fuel. So that's why I pitted really early. But I put a bit of extra fuel in there. But it was a bit of both. Like I couldn't stand the rain anymore. I was just knackered, so I just wanted it to finish.
Well, I think the gap ended on half a second. Me and Josh were getting really excited. Yeah. We thought Godzilla was going to catch you. I think one more lap and it would have been very close. Yeah,
if he had an extra lap, he would have got it for sure.
Yeah, you definitely made it exciting for us on those final 5 laps when we were watching the gaps come down.
Yeah, I'm happy I did that for you guys.
But yeah, really well done on the win.
No, thanks, man. Thank you.
All right, let's see if we can get in Godzilla. I think Godzilla's there.
Yeah, Godzilla's over here.
P2 for the GT3s. How's it going, Godzilla?
How you doing?
Hello, how you doing?
Well, it was absolutely fantastic race to watch. How did you find it? Because we saw you chasing down Dimitris at the very end, and we reckon if you had one more lap, you could have nailed it. But how did you find it?
It's one of my favorite things, being in the rain. I seem to drive a little bit better in the rain. But one more lap, I think I would have had him. But we had a little coming together on the last turn, a little further back. But I like the fight. I like the battle, the challenge, as it were. Do enjoy the challenge.
Yeah, it was really exciting for us to watch. We could see your pace over the last 5 laps was consistently nearly a second quicker per lap. We just had a little chat with Demetrius, and he was saying that it was partly down to him underfueling / he was absolutely knackered from driving an hour in the rain. Did you find that kind of the endurance side of your driving came into play, or because you seem to get stronger towards the end? You were setting fastest lap after fastest lap.
I could go again, to be honest.
Really? Well, fair play. If only it had been a couple more laps.
Yeah, exactly. No, I do it. I enjoy it. I love every race I do. It's good fun. And I think I was driving a little bit with a red mist near the end there. I was like, I got to get that.
Yeah.
I got to get him back, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
It's always good motivation when you can see someone that's within reach of catching.
Yeah, if I got no in the chase, I find you drive slower. If you haven't got that time, like someone behind you, I think is different than having someone in front of you. I mean, if I was in the lead that whole, I think I may have slowed down a bit because you're not chasing that person in front.
Yeah,
it always gives you that goal. Nah,
Definitely,
really enjoyed it, man.
Well, you're being cheered on by RWB Cos as well in the chat throughout that race. He was very active in the chat, trying to cheer you on and try and give you some encouragement to get ahead.
Good old Cos. Yeah, man.
Oh, it wasn't quite to be, but really well done for getting P2.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. It was fun.
Awesome.
Nice one.
Thanks for joining us. And
you're
congrats.
Welcome. Thank you. Take it easy.
Oh.
We just
really
cut off.
That. I'm still trying to get Butler in. I think he may have gone off for a bit of an early celebration, as I'm unable to get hold of him.
He's got to pop the champagne.
Oh, of course. And I see Edmonds as well, our P2 man from the race. I'll drag him in for a cheeky chat. So this is our P2 man of the GT4s, Edmonds. How did you find that?
Hello.
Hello.
It was a fun race. I wasn't even gonna race. That's just the last minute thing, and I jumped in. No setup, no engineer tips or anything, and yeah, it turned out to be fun.
Yeah, it looked like you were having tons of fun. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't see much action involving you. How was the race overall? Was there quite a lot of action where you caught up in lap 1 chaos?
Lap 1, Skull came flying, and I thought he was a GT3, so I was going to let him go, but then he wasn't moving, and then we made contact, so I apologized to him about that. He said it was just an error on both of us. And then later on, poor Charger, Mr. Admin Charger, and I were side by side, and a GT3 got on the inside, so it was 3 wide on a really tight corner. And of course, I went as wide as I could, but then Charger nose went right in my door, and he's the one who got the worst of it. Poor guy. And he was the one who was ahead too. He was trying to make room for the GT3, and it didn't work out. Anyway, it was overall enjoyable, and I started to catch up with Mr. Barker after the pits, and the whole entire race was just gaining a little bit, but just not enough.
Yeah. It looked close towards the end. We could see you slowly catching him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still a fantastic drive for you. Alex, do you have any questions for our P2 man?
No, I think you've covered it all pretty much. Just really well done. It was a nice drive from you.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and well done on finishing P4 in the championship.
And just as ESR admin, I just want to take this moment and this chance to everyone listening to say thank you to all the RWB guys to put this together. They definitely are a great group. I recommend to anyone listening to this, join in. Everyone's great.
Yeah, hopefully we see more collaborations between us, because it's been absolutely fantastic for us to watch overall, especially having 2 different groups come together.
Yeah, well, the unfortunate part is I think for most of our North American guys, the timing was not right. And a lot of our guys are doing 2 leagues, right? They do a European time race, and then they race with us later on during the day, which is late for you guys, like almost 1 a.m., I think. So a lot of guys, they just couldn't commit to this league at this time because they already had the other commitment. And some of the North American guys, they can only race later during the day because, well, it is Saturday. It's beautiful outside right now. I'm inside racing, and all the windows are open, though. It's great.
Yeah,
I wish it was like that here.
It's definitely not like that where I am.
It's like 3 degrees and pitch black outside.
Oh man, it's like 16 here. Blue skies, sun. It's great.
Oh, lovely. Yeah,
well,
really.
16. It felt like 16. It might not be that. There is a cold front.
Yeah, it definitely is here as well. Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
Get your swords and shield out.
Yeah. Oh, well, cheers, Martin, and really well done on the race today.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys.
Perfect. So I finally managed to track down James, and James is with us right now. It's our championship winner for the Tier 2. Fantastic drive throughout the entire season, James, but especially today where you went from back of the grid all the way up to, I'm going to get this wrong, I feel. Wasn't it P5, I believe, in GT4s?
Very nearly third.
Yeah, fantastic drive from you, and congratulations.
Cheers, yeah, it was.
But yeah, how did you find the entire season? Was it much of a challenge, or did you kind of just take things one at a time?
I always take things one at a time. First one was tough, then next few were relatively easy. I think you caught Kyle on me on the stream.
Yeah.
And yeah, this one, well, I put myself at the back of the grid anyway, just for a bit of a challenge, and then decided to rain. So it was fun.
It definitely looked fun for you.
Yeah.
We saw some spicy moments on the stream, and I was watching you every now and then to see how you're doing, and we saw a couple of spicy moments out there with the back kicking out.
Yeah, it didn't like curbs for some reason. But yeah, it was entertaining anyway, trying to catch everybody up.
So, James, we were talking about how you like kind of sandbagged qualifying effectively, and
yeah.
So we'd seen your message in the Discord. We knew you were going to do it. Did you realise how close it was for the championship win?
Yeah, because what do you call it? Skull said he couldn't win.
Yeah, so John
could win either.
John Barker actually he finished 1 point behind you in the championship.
Ooh.
So I think on track you finished last in the GT4s after the last couple of laps. I think you dropped a couple of positions.
Yeah.
If one of the people that had retired had stayed on track and finished in front of you, I think you would have lost the championship. So it was very close.
Bit of an outlier then. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew it was quite the points looked close, but then I knew it was 3 points between people.
Yeah, so
places, but,
it was 2 points between places. Apart from the win, got you extra points. So because James Butler won tonight, not James Butler, you're James Butler. Because John Barker won tonight, and you finished last on track, he only finished 1 point behind you. So that was pretty insane for us to watch. We were. Josh had his calculator out mid-race, calculating what position you had to finish to hold the win. And then once the other two GT4s retired, we knew that you had it in the bag, even if you came last. But yeah, before they retired, it was tight.
Yeah, I think it was. Who retired? Was it?
Flack and
Kelleher.
There you go. Thank you, Josh.
I know Flack changed cars, hasn't he? Because he's been in the Mustang, hasn't he? Or Camaro all season.
Oh, I'm not sure about that one. There's too many tiers to keep up with.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. Fun for the last race anyway. A bit of rain again.
Yeah, it definitely made it super interesting for us, and yeah, we've followed you all season. You've done super well. Really well done on the win. You definitely deserve it.
Cheers. Thank
you. And enjoy
Cheers.
the pair of sim socks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Cheers.
And you.
Cheers. So I've managed to drag Andrew Anderson for a chat as well. He's the championship winner for the GT3 as well in Tier 2. Hi Andrew, how are you doing?
Hey, doing great.
I see you went off early to try and pop the champagne. Fantastic drive from you. You didn't really have any pressure tonight for the championships. You could kind of take it easy. How did you find the race today?
I found the race to be really enjoyable. Everybody races very clean, but you're right. I kind of just stayed in a safe spot and I just kept everybody away and didn't get close to anybody just to make sure I got good race points to finish strong there.
Yeah, you definitely finished strong. You definitely did. You finished north of 50 points above P2, so that was a pretty firm championship win for you. How did you find the season overall?
I found this would be one of the most enjoyable seasons I've had. I've been sim racing for 23 years, and I found all the turn one racers were clean. It made it enjoyable. I would certainly race with RWB again. Of course, I raced with ESR some already, but I would certainly race with the organizers of this league anytime because it doesn't get any better than this. Well organized and well run. Really loved it.
I can hear Charger just screaming himself hearing you say that. But yeah, that's an amazing compliment. Because I know the RWB and ESR guys, like the organizers for this, have been super busy and trying to make sure that it's actually been entertaining for us watching, but also for you guys driving. And it's actually a relief to hear you say that. It's been phenomenal. Alex, do you have any questions for Andrew?
No, I don't. I just want to say really well done. It was a nice strategy of taking it easy this race, knowing you had it in the bag. It was close between P2 and P3, but you were way ahead. As Josh said, it was 50 points. So yeah, that's all I can say. Really well done over the whole season, and enjoy the sim socks.
Great, yeah. I tell you, I knew I wasn't gonna. I just didn't want to get involved in any of the scrums, so I just found a safe place and ran away. I tell you, I got tapped in turn one on the very first race. I had 3 seconds of damage. That was the only amount of damage I had all season.
Really?
Jeez, that's incredible, especially when you think you go into a public lobby and you get 30 seconds worth of damage from turn one.
Yeah, fantastic. I never got never got brushed, never got touched. I had a couple of guys defend a little harder than I really liked, but so don't we all. But other than that, no one touched my car for 7.99 races, so you won't get that anywhere else.
Definitely. But yeah, congratulations, and I definitely hope to see you in more RWB events in the future. But it definitely sounds like you're willing to join us again in the future.
Oh, absolutely. Wouldn't miss it. Would love to see you guys the next time, next league that's organized. I certainly would love to be there.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Nice one. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for all the organization, and thanks for being well done on your end. Have a great night.
Cheers. See ya.
So that is all the interviews wrapped up, and not only just the interviews, that's this league wrapped up nice and tight in a little bow, nice and pretty. And yeah, like you said, I've been amazed at how clean everything's been. Alex, you've joined me in the Scottish league that we did on the certain course, the regular one, and I think you can. It's amazing to see the contrast between how clean this racing is compared to the scrum, as Andrew described earlier, in other leagues that you get out there. I'm not going out there and throwing shade at everyone else, but absolutely fantastic. Fantastic stuff from this league, and yeah, I hope everyone watching who's not maybe heard of RWB or is thinking about getting into sim racing definitely joins along and is kind of encouraged to join RWB because it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think I second everything Josh has said. I want to thank all the organisers of RWB for putting this league on. I know all of the admins and everyone that organises races works super hard to make them work. It's a lot more work than you think. Thanks to all the racers for coming back week after week and racing clean and fair, and we haven't had too much drama. I know we've had a bit, but you know,
a little bit.
Yeah,
but it's what makes it fun and exciting.
Thanks to Cos for covering the 2 weeks the 1 week where I wasn't here and the 1 week where Josh wasn't here, to not leave either of us alone. Thanks to all you guys that have watched and joined us in the chat and like kind of made it more interesting, made us feel like we're talking to actual people.
Yeah, especially the chat today.
Yeah, it's been really good.
It's been very active. But yeah, we also have to give a big shout out to the sponsor as well, SimStock, for providing the prize at the end, and also for Sim Racing Tools for helping organize everything and get this all sorted and make it possible.
Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this 8-week league. Hopefully, you viewers can join us for the following leagues. I know. Well, yeah,
then Spa coming up as well.
12 hours of Spa. Definitely join us on the stream on that. It's a charity race, so we would love it if you could join there and support the cause that the race is supporting, the Mind charity for mental health. So yeah, hopefully we can see you all guys soon, and I think that wraps it up for me and Josh.
Well, I've got to say it one last time.
Yeah, one last time, Josh. Go on. I'm ready.
Thanks for joining us. Don't race alone. Race RWB.
Thanks very much, guys.